It's time to assemble the Confidential Fan Guild.
Hello everyone and welcome to the debut edition of the Confidential Fan Guild, which consists of myself, Magpie, and Bluedragon 5, and the man of mystery, Mr. E.
Who else would you have in the Confidential Fan Guild than the man who is confidential himself? No one has ever seen my file.
We're the only ones who can solve mysteries.
Then what is my answer?
That's the question.
Anyway, the big news that everybody's been talking about. Hell, Geek Evolution only just recently did a video on it because all their fans wanted them to do a video on it. And that's, of course, the Superman Batman movie that's supposed to be coming out. And with this, it's probably not going to be one of our 3-hour-long epic videos, but it will probably definitely be a long video in itself. So, essentially, this is what I heard happened. So, I'm doing this on various other sources.
Well,
Essentially...
Magpie, I saw it happen. I can go through it.
Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, here's what happened. After the Warner Brothers DC panel, we got Scott Snyder, not Scott Snyder, Zack Snyder making a surprise appearance at the end of it. He walks on stage. He's saying, yes, Man of Steel 2 is happening, but let's face it, you guys already knew that was happening. Then Zack Snyder brings out the general at the end of Man of Steel, the one that's talking to Superman, saying you'll have to convince him. I'll have to trust you on that. I grew up in Kansas. That general. He says because he has a voice better than mine to say this quote that's kind of going to emphasize the kind of the tone we're trying to set for the film. Kind of the tone we're trying to set with this big news for the film. So he reads a line, and many people, some of them knew the instant he started this line. I want you to remember this, Clark. My hand at your throat, and in your most private moments, remember the one man who beat you. That line, of course, is from Dark Knight Returns. After that line was said, the lights went dim. There was darkness in the room. Then the lights came up, following a video. That video showed one image. That image, the Superman symbol on top of the Batman symbol. From Dark Knight Returns, mind you, but still, the Bat symbol. Which means Superman, Batman. It means Man of Steel 2 will have Batman in it. That's the official news. Everyone's returning. All the players of Man of Steel are coming back. We don't know who's playing Batman yet.
They've only announced 4 of the major people. They've only announced 4 officially.
Well, I mean, pretty much that's pretty much all the people from Man of Steel coming back.
Yeah, the 4
I mean, the ones who were left.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are all here to speculate, predict, and come up with theories on what's supposed to be happening here.
Because Magpie.
And
sorry, if I may, I just want to say this before we begin. This is a momentous occasion, Joe, and I'm glad we've lived to see this moment. The moment that we've all been waiting for. These giants have reached the ages of 75 and 74. And after all that time, we finally are in the age where not next year, the year right after that year, we're going to see the 2 giants, the 2 heroes, DC's firefighter and the police detective of the DC universe, on screen at the same time. That's not a fan film. It's not like a fan trailer. That's not just in animation, as awesome as that is. Not since World's Finest have we seen these two. Not since the World's Finest animated film have we seen these two inhabit the screen together properly. These two live-action components on the same screen, it's a magical occurrence. I'm so happy we've lived to the age where you can see that, and it opens doors to possibilities, which we're going to discuss today.
Yes.
It was typically
Anyway.
going to happen in 2009 with the Justice League movie, but that didn't work.
But a momentous occasion nonetheless.
Yeah. Now, you've speculated elsewhere about these implications, Blue Dragon 5, and so I'm gonna actually leave you to last to say anything on this. Yeah.
Probably going to be.
Mr.E, you were the one that told me this news, and I was quite surprised to hear this. Initially, I was like, "Well, that's awesome," but then I thought about it, and I thought, "Hang on, we shouldn't Batman get his own movie before we go delve into this Public Enemy stuff?" Yeah.
Well, Mr. E.
Yeah, we're going to have to pause here for a minute, guys.
Yeah.
And we're back. So I'd pretty much finished. So, yeah. Mr. E, would you like to take this? So just your initial reaction when this news was announced.
Well, my initial reaction was, when I first saw it, I ran upstairs. I saw my entire family, because I practically live in the garage. And I ran all the way up there. I saw him. I shouted it to him. I nearly fell down. And then I ran all the way back down here just so I can learn more information on it. And that was my reaction. And then I continued to read it. And then I saw the writers. And that right there, that's when I began to become skeptical. Because it said it will be co-written by David S. Goyer and Zack Snyder. Now, I remember the last movie that Zack Snyder wrote. That was Sucker Punch. We all know how that ended up in the ratings and the critics. So there, that's when I began to become skeptical. Yeah, spectacle. Skeptical.
Skeptical, yeah. Okay, Blue Dragon.
Yeah.
My reaction to it was, first I heard, they're making Superman Batman. I mean, where have I heard that before? Well, let's see. There's I Am Legend when we heard that, and we've heard it's been in development for years. So at first I was a little skeptical. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, we've all heard that they've been working on Justice League film. So it was supposed to come out 2013. That didn't happen. Anyway, so I check it out, and I check the news, and I see like a little news headline, Superman Batman. I'm intrigued at this point. I hear it's true, but then I check out like the Comic-Con footage. It's like, oh my god, it's happening. Just the minute I saw the clip, and I heard it made official. I was like, yes, after all this time. And in my mind, just suddenly flashed. In my mind, the world's finest Superman Batman animated, when their first debut in the DC animated universe, where they first met, it's like all that's flashing. Then it's to the Hans Zimmer ending of Dark Knight Rises, like that just huge, that momentous occasion. That music just going through my head. I'm seeing all that clips fast forward. Then the Dark Knight Returns animated film fight between the two. It's just wow. I was so happy. I was like thinking, this could open many possibilities, open many doors. It's gonna be big. I mean, I know it's gonna sell out. Because it's gonna beat Avengers in the box office, because people have been waiting for this since the dawn of time.
Well, I'm not 100% sure it'll beat Avengers in the box office.
Well,
I think it will come close. It's definitely going to make money.
Well, I mean the first Avengers. I mean Avengers 2 might beat it, because now when you consider it, they're coming out the same year. But I mean the point is, like, it's going to be a huge occasion. It's going to be good financially for DC. But seeing these, yes, finally that's going to happen. And get my equivalent to the world's finest animated film, but on the big screen. Just seeing these two interact with each other. It's something everyone's been waiting for, and I was just really Real excited. I'm thinking, I'm still burning with ideas like what could happen, what will happen, and I'm hoping these two, well, we'll get to that later. But yeah, that's my initial reaction. All positive, the happiness, I'm excited to see what happens next.
Sorry, guys, we've lost Mr. E, so I'm going to try and get him back. So we're all definitely going to say that this is going to do really well. It's just, it's just one of those things that in concept alone is just going to do really well.
Yeah. Plus the implications of what it means for Justice League in the future.
Yeah.
Because that's another underlying reason why people really want that movie, because they think, we get that movie. Kind of like the DC universe, we got that movie, then we got Justice League. Later on.
Yeah.
Seeing them cross over, because that's really the first Bond, the two big giants crossing over, and which means, then they meet the other heroes. It was the first, really in the comics, it was the first meeting of heroes. Well, I mean, it was Justice League then. You know what I mean.
Yeah. You back,
Mhm.
Mr. E?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, thank God.
I was sending multiple messages saying, keep on talking, like I'm still here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so that hopefully that's our only technical glitch in this pilot episode. Anyway, I think it's time for us to start suggesting.
Ideas.
Ideas. Do you think initially? Okay. My first question is, do you want a dual villains, or do you want just one big bad?
When you say dual villains, do you mean one from each?
One from each, or just
Two.
Two, because
I want dual villains.
Do you want dual villains? Bluedragon 5, do you want dual?
I want dual villains, but not one from Gotham.
You don't want a Batman villain.
Because at its core, this film is a Man of Steel sequel, and I don't think Bruce would. I don't think Superman's going to go to Gotham at this point. So I think it's going to be set in Metropolis.
I'm seeing this movie take place in Metropolis.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'm saying no Batman villains for this one. I mean, it's going to be set in Metropolis.
Batman villain.
Well, okay. Let me pitch this one to you. This is just off the top of my head. Penguin and Lex Luthor.
It's like this. Everyone knows Lex Luthor is going to be the villain, so just go ahead and say Lex Luthor.
Yeah, we don't.
I'm of the opinion that we could be getting Brainiac.
To me, Brainiac is a Justice League villain. Use him for the Justice League just because it will probably be better.
Okay. Good idea. But we could still get what's the guy with the optic blast? I'm sorry. I'm terrible at Superman villains.
Don't you mean? Are you trying to say Bizarro Superman?
No.
I'm sorry. You say optic blast, and it doesn't really narrow it down.
The guy from Apocalypse.
Oh, I mean Darkseid.
Darkseid, that's it.
I
knew it was started with D. What about Darkseid?
Another Justice League villain, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I mean, Darkseid, his scope, he's really, once you're really in Superman, it's like past the city. He's like almost not another dimension. I mean, he's like big scale, like planetary scale.
Yeah.
And he's more suited to Justice League. He's like a global.
It should be something smaller if you're going to have Batman in it. It should be something like just for the city.
How about Lex and if we're going to do two Superman villains, how about Superman and Darkseid?
What, Superman is the bad guy?
So no. Sorry, God, I'm so stupid.
Sorry.
Lex Luthor and Doomsday.
You want to kill Superman?
I didn't say that.
Well, if you have Doomsday, you're going to kill Superman.
I see what you're saying. Well, it could be interesting to see like Doomsday worked in as like, okay, maybe Lex invents Doomsday. I'm not saying that necessarily needs that. I'm saying if Lex invented Doomsday, they should build that he built him and he's fighting Superman and later on he could kill him. But I don't necessarily think you should fit in Doomsday, because Doomsday comes with that instant connotation that, yeah, he's going to kill Superman. I would save him for like a second trilogy, well, if not second trilogy, after 3, at some point.
Do you really see this going that long?
Man of Steel, oh yeah, it's going to make money. So I mean,
Do you really see it going for 6 films?
Well, 6
Warner
films
Brothers
is a tough
will
thing.
try
I know.
to make it happen.
I see it going past 3. I do. I'm not sure.
It's going past 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, to include Justice League films, yeah, okay, fair enough. I don't see the main actor being in it that long, so I could see the.
It's like this. The reason why the main actor, and he was truthful about this. My dad has even said this. He was truthful about this. He did the role because of the money. So it's like he's gonna keep on doing the role until Warner Brothers just like no longer wants to give him the money he wants. So it's one of those.
Yeah, well, I don't. To be honest, I don't see Cavill doing it that long.
Well, the guy's in his late 20s, so he has time. I
don't particularly want to see a post-40 Superman. Depending on how he looks, and everything. I mean, I just don't really see.
That's the weirdest thing, because no one wants to see a post-40 Superman, but when it comes to Batman, they're all ready for it.
Well, because of Dark Knight Returns and Batman Beyond, that's the reason. Well,
yeah.
that and also
anyway,
the whole Jason Todd thing, but yeah, you're right.
All right, now go back to Superman Batman movie.
Yeah. To be honest, okay. Let me give you guys my pitch.
All right.
Okay. And this is just a general outline. Okay, we're assuming Lex is going to be the main guy, right? And I do take a little bit of liberties with your theory, Bluedragon 5 in this, because I heard it. So you have, I think it's yours anyway. Lex is rebuilding the city, obviously. He's sort of like in the he's been doing interviews and everything post this, and everyone's praising him for helping out. But he says, this guy, this man of steel, how can we trust him when he kills his own people? He's an awesomely powerful man, and he could have, yeah, and he even points out he could have easily gotten rid of Zod in hundreds of different ways without killing him. Okay, so he starts getting on that bandwagon. Bruce Wayne sees this and agrees with him, and they're doing a dual interview because he's also a part of this interview. I should have pointed that out as well. And he agrees with him, and he's also helping clean up the city. They're not sort of merged; they're just the two companies that are helping with the cleanup. And they point out that this fight has left a wound in Metropolis, and we're just helping to try and heal it. And they continue on this course, but I wouldn't put. I'd put Bruce Wayne throughout most of the movie. He wouldn't suit up until the third act. What do you guys think about that? Him not suiting up until the third act.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's a bad idea.
And that way you don't have to deal with people having having Batman in really having Batman in Metropolis until later on. Like, you could see him doing investigations and all that sort of thing as well. But you could.
What's the plot? I mean, what's Luthor's plan?
Luthor's plan is to take down Superman, and his motivation is that he's sick and tired of the press that Superman's getting. And he's doing some sort of money making scheme on the side during the cleanup, and and yeah, he's looking for some. What do you think of looking for some sort of? I'm sure he's done this in the comics hundreds of times, but he's looking for some sort of treasure to like in that could be also during this cleanup. We get Doomsday, but he doesn't actually kill Superman. I know, but he gets knocked out and imprisoned, and you could hold off bringing him back until later.
So you're saying Luthor would unearth Doomsday within the Earth?
Yeah, because that was in
Superman
that
Doomsday.
Yeah, I know it's kind of silly, but to me it's one of the few things that works, and like I don't have a clear outline for Lex's plan yet. To me the main things I don't really want to see Batman suit up until he has to.
Well, why would he be fighting Superman? Because we know
I don't want him to see. I don't want to see him fight Superman. Really, I want to see them. I want to see them perhaps have a disagreement, and you don't have to have Batman suited up for that. You could have Bruce Wayne and Clark having a disagreement. You could have Bruce Wayne having a disagreement with Superman, and I would also leave it that they're not necessarily these two guys get along either. I'd say I'd have the fight end. Whatever it is, like, and I'd point out, I'd have Batman say, "Well, remember Clark, I'm always here to keep you in check." And I would even put kryptonite in this one, but I wouldn't and that you could echo the Justice League Doom movie with that Tower of Babel thing. He keeps a piece of kryptonite to keep Superman in check, but Superman doesn't know about it. And I'm still working on the plot because I've only had a couple of days to really think about this, because I've heard lots of people say that it should that Lex should be the villain, but I'm not 100% sold on that.
I'm 90% sure that I know they are advertising the fight aspect. The misunderstanding.
Yeah, well, look, mate. They could change their minds. Because for all we know, they're still working out the kinks in the script.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% opposed to a fight between the two, but I don't want an all-out brawl between the two, because I don't want to see because I always see Batman always outthinking. If it came to a fight, I don't want to see a fist fight between the two, because to me, Batman would always
outthink Superman.
He'd outthink him. He's more of the
strategist.
Strategist. He's the chess player of the Justice League.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the plot, as long as it's good, I don't care what it is, as long as it's good, and it's better than Man of Steel. And by the way, I'm not opposed to having a Man of Steel 2 after this.
Well, all we know is this is Man of Steel 2.
Well, this could be. You could have this, and then another separate Superman movie that's called Man of Steel 2.
I get it.
Why couldn't they do that? You call this Superman, Batman something,
I'm thinking that they're just going to do the Nolan approach title-wise, and that first one was Man of Steel, then next one's another surname for the hero, like World's Finest is with the encounter between the two. Again, I'm just saying World's Finest because I like that title, but still, it's just another title. And then the next one will be like Last Son of Krypton. So I'm saying it's not, this movie is the sequel to Man of Steel, and it's not going to be another Man of Steel 2. That otherwise, just say it's a crossover film. But
by the way, that should have been the title of the last one.
Last Son of Krypton?
Yeah, they did. Because it would have worked a bit better.
Yeah. I mean, like, this could have been Man of Steel, kind of like, Dark Knight, Man of Steel instead of Batman. The point is, you know what I mean? This one is officially been confirmed as this is the sequel to Man of Steel, because this is, he said, Man of Steel 2.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Get what you're saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, you could still have have this when you're thinking when I think of DC, right?
Yeah.
I don't know this franchise. I see. Okay, you could have a trilogy of Batman, Superman movies throughout that are separate to a full like how Avengers is sort of is a sequel to Thor. And Hulk and the Iron Man movies and Captain America. You could have this be its own part of the continuity. Have a World's Finest trilogy as well as a Justice League trilogy, as well as having a separate Superman trilogy and a separate Batman trilogy.
Yes.
Trilogy.
Well, Magpie, the thing is, I'm on board for that, but it's not happening because they said that we're not getting that. But I prefer it if it was its own separate movie. I mean, it's just Batman in Man of Steel 2, not its own movie.
So what they're gonna so what you're saying is there's no way, like I'm just saying, well, that's the way I think it should work. Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
And by the way, I can see. I also don't want a rusty, wet behind the ears Batman. In this.
Indeed, I want.
And and by the way, here's the way I would have the Batman movie that spins out of this be a prequel to the Batman Superman movie.
Yes.
But it could run concurrent with Man of Steel.
That's what I'm saying. That wouldn't be a half bad idea. Again, I'm just saying I prefer it if it was its own separate thing. Plus, in an ideal world, we could have had a Superman, like the Man of Steel sequel, and a new Batman film come out in the same year. And then the following year, 2015, we would have either that or just another following year. We'd have
2016. I think that would have been worth.
Whatever. I'm saying that the following year from that, like we get two superhero movies one year, then the following year we would get the meeting of those two in its own franchise, just the whole solo meeting films.
Yeah, they really.
It's in an ideal world, which we're not.
I think they put too many eggs in that Man of Steel basket.
Yeah, it's kind of a risk. I'm not sure it's going to pay.
And I personally think that you shouldn't have really done. You should really have planned this out a little bit better.
Yeah. DC, they were trying to... I think it's because of a Green Lantern. I'm not saying that... I agree. What you said, put their eggs in one basket, and with Green Lantern, that failed, and that basically crippled them for the rest of these films.
Oh. By the way, I'm not opposed to doing another Green Lantern movie.
Yeah, neither am I, but I want to try and showcase, like, Flash, which we are getting in 2016, hopefully. Well, yeah, they said it's confirmed, but we'll see where we get with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr.E, what are your thoughts on this?
Yes. For the story? Well, I told you... Yeah. Well, as I told you before the video, I wouldn't, elaborate it, because I'm not a big... When it comes to movies that are about to come out, I don't try to elaborate. I'm just usually, okay, this is sort of what I want, and let's see if they can go make it, which they probably won't. But for the villains, Lex Luthor and Black Mask.
Lex Luthor and Black Mask. I could see that working. Black Mask is trying to get... Okay, here's how I'd see the plot going. Lex is helping Black Mask get a foothold, crime-wise, in Metropolis. He's spreading out from Gotham. Batman's coming in to try and take him down before he gets that foothold, and he helps out. He helps out Superman with that. Do you see that working?
Well, I had Black Mask as the villain and all, but it's like this: when Batman goes to Metropolis, he doesn't know who Black Mask is working with. It could be anyone, but Black Mask just so happens to be working with Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
And Bruce Wayne is also going there as well, just so he can help Lex Luthor fix Metropolis and all. And you kind of took what I was going to say. Bruce doesn't like Superman because of what Lex says and all that. And the first meeting that Batman and Superman has is Superman is like, he can read between the lines when it comes to Lex Luthor. Superman tries to stop Lex at one of his evil deeds. Batman comes up and he kind of beats the living crap out of Superman mentally, and because of his strategy, because of him being a strategist and him being able to outsmart Superman and all, he beat Superman and all. And kind of like Lex has a piece of kryptonite that he's been keeping a hold on ever since the beginning. Like, he was the first person to discover kryptonite, and it's kind of like he's been hiding it forever. He doesn't want to showboat it because he has no idea what it is. He just thinks it's another piece of rock. But then he finds
By the
that.
way,
Yes.
I want to say, isn't it awesome that we got a Superman movie without any kryptonite?
Yes.
That was cool.
Yes, finally. Now, as I was saying, it would just be one of those things where Batman and Superman don't like each other at first because Batman thinks Lex is a good guy. And how they discover each other's identities is kind of the same. Like, Superman x-rays through the mask, and then Batman deduces that Clark Kent is Superman. No, like, that's gonna be any hard. Since Lois Lane already knows who it is. So, and then it's kind of like Bruce kind of begins to understand Superman and all, and then they find out Lex and Black Mask are working together, and then they take him down. But Lex gets off scot-free because he's a businessman and he practically owns Metropolis. Black Mask, he goes to jail because he's a gangster. So, and then they kind of like go off as friends and all that. They're not best friends, but they're friends. So, that's my idea. They don't, in my opinion, they want to start developing the best friend friendship until Justice League. Well, that's kind of like where they got to take up the mantle of leadership.
Bluedragon 5. Time for your pitch, if you've got one.
Okay, I've got two, but in a nutshell. My main pitch is, again, following the logic, this is a Man of Steel sequel first and foremost. With that logic, I'm not using anything from Gotham, because it's Bruce going to Metropolis to help out. Okay, we start. It's in Metropolis. He's foiling someone trying to steal something from LexCorp. This man's name is John Corbin. Luthor's at a press conference, and he's saying, I'm rebuilding the city after the destruction of the tragedy. It was brought on by the Kryptonians. Hint, hint, I hate Superman. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. That sort of stuff. He says, I have a financial backer who you all will meet at my gala event tonight. He was not mentioning who it is, like, surprise who's helped me out with the city, and, we'll see if that branches off into anything beneficial for the future of Metropolis. After that, he has a meeting with the government, Luthor. And it's Luthor saying to them, we see how obsessed Luthor has been and how much he hates Superman, just saying that gentlemen, look at what Superman's done. He killed his own kind. Look, it's basically calling into question all the faults with Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Just kind of saying that, look at all this destruction he caused. Look, he killed his own kind. This guy, we have no control over him. Like, what's to stop him from taking over one day? He's out of control. He's reckless. He's pointing out all the true facts about Superman in that film. That he's a little unseasoned at this point. That could be dead, but Luthor using that to his capital because he doesn't like him. We get into Luthor. He's the god of Metropolis, and Superman's showing him up with his heroism and stuff. And that's Luthor's. He's also bringing up that I have the remnants of the Kryptonian ships. Also, I've been doing some research, and we see how obsessive Luthor's really been when we get to his lab later on. He's figured out that red sunlight was on Krypton. He's gone to that much of research. He wants some space probes out there, trying to harness the power of the Phantom Drive to do so. Point is, he's figured out the red sunlight's also a weakness for Superman as long as the Kryptonian atmosphere, which he can't harness, but still. Red sunlight. He's got remnants of the ship at this point. Then we see Clark Kent at the planet. We see how he's assimilated in there. Lois, his rapport with Lois Lane. We get classic Perry White doing it. Maybe I'm saying put in Jimmy Olsen since they were smart enough not to put Jenny Olsen in there. Just start to get the team on and say, okay, we're going to go to that gala event tonight, Smallville. Like her calling it, even though she knows he is from who he is from Smallville. But him being Superman, I know it's still. Yeah,
and I want Jimmy Olsen to call him CK.
Yeah, call him CK, and also at the meantime, before the gala event happens, a meteor shower transpires. This meteor shower, there's kryptonite in this meteor shower, potentially accelerated by the events that happened to Man of Steel by the remnants of the Phantom Drive. During when it was triggered last, maybe there's something held open so that it got there faster instead of maybe waiting 30 years. But either way, it's been traveling since then. Point is, kryptonite is raining from the sky, falling to the earth. And Luthor, just being Luthor, he's going to have his teams. He's going to his lab this Monday and he's saying, "Mercy, I control Metropolis. I can't have this godlike being showing me up," that sort of stuff. Saying, okay, well, Lex, let's go through the agenda today. You have that gala meeting with financial backer. Ooh, keeping him mysterious. Good on you. Also, there's some kryptonite meteor showers. Yeah, just get samples of that for the lab. I'm focusing on my Superman hatred right now and just figuring out how to undo him and sway the government. And I stop Superman. Get on my side of things. Okay, the gala event happens, and Bruce Wayne's introduced. Saying, I'm here to help the damage of it. Overall, Bruce in this film, he's going to come from the same perspective as Lex. That they see the facts. All the destruction happened is kind of Superman's fault, and it's putting the blame on Superman, putting the purpose on Superman to get better, become the Man of Steel that we know. Be the guy who saves people during the course of the battle. The guy who stops the building from falling, the one who tries to direct the guy away from the city, that sort of stuff. Be a refined Superman. That's Superman's arc throughout the film. Batman's arc is he's coming from Luthor's point of view. Yeah, this guy is trouble. And at the end of the film, after they have a scuffle in the second act, it's going to be after that scuffle in the second act, the third act. It's going to be Batman working with Superman to foil Luthor, to seeing, okay, Luthor's behind all the bad stuff's happening. The bad stuff being he creates Metallo. He finds out that Kryptonite has power over Superman. He uses the Kryptonian ship metal and uses other strong metals and creates Metallo, which basically switches. Sorry, he puts Corbin's mind in the robot body, a classic thing, or he just coats his body with that. Just something sadistic that he can't get out of the suit ever. So he is basically a robot now. And overall, that's durable against Superman because it's from Krypton. However, now it's powered by kryptonite, makes him even more of a threat. So he has an edge over Superman. Maybe during the gala event he was displaying some meteor rocks or something. Clark is Also, I think Luthor should find out that Clark is Superman. Because if Lois can do it, I mean, why can't Luthor? Of course, if that's done, everyone...
That's problematic to me. To me, that can be problematic.
Well...
I'm not opposed to it. It's just, especially with the Burton and Schumacher films, I was getting sick and tired of the villains figuring out the identity. Oh, that's a big plot point.
That's what I literally was about
I don't think Lex should be too concerned with that.
Well, I mean, no, I was literally, it's funny, I was literally about to bring up that point that, yeah, people would say, yeah, too many people are getting found out in the superhero films, their identities, but fair enough point, I might take that out. Just, in regards to his identity, the way Batman figures out I have it is that this Superman acts kind of like the flesh of Superman, so Lois Lane saw him close up, so she knows who he is. That's the reason she found out that Clark Kent's Superman. She saw him up close.
And she did her research.
Yeah, that too. I mean, she did her research. So what I'm saying is, like, this Superman be kind of like the Fleischer Superman in that, he's Clark Kent, but then he says, looks like a job for Superman. Superman flies in, he takes care of business, he doesn't stick around for questions or people to get a real good look at him. And, Batman, he'd probably look at news footage and look at all stuff like freeze frame, like zoom in, saying, okay, that's the same guy, run by all the facial recognition IDs in Metropolis, and he'd say, okay, this is the guy. That sort of stuff. And he would do it in, like, a little briefcase computer. Or his computer in his, like, a hotel room or penthouse, wherever he's staying in Metropolis. So that would happen, and, fine, Luthor doesn't have to find out, but, anyway, in the gala, maybe some rocks distributed, and maybe Superman. An occurrence happens where Batman intervenes, like maybe John Corbin breaks through the gala trying to steal some rocks or steal something. Just trying to make Luthor look bad or something. I'm still spitballing it here, but, John Corbin, an event happens, Superman's in the area, takes care of that. Maybe Batman's in the area, then Superman gets in the area, and the rocks start to affect him. Batman notices it, and he gets away before Superman has time to ask questions. Maybe, Then Luthor would take interest in John Corbin, he'd take him prisoner, then he use him as a pawn in his plan to get Superman. I mentioned the whole kryptonite Metallo thing. So Batman would get into a little scuffle with Superman, nothing major, just a little scuffle, and he would outwit him in the end, but, he'd kind of realize, okay, this guy's not bad, he's not my enemy, and Luthor is my enemy, which would bring us to the third act, where Superman fights Metallo, and Batman helps out, and it's really Superman's struggle with Luthor, but Batman also, it's really the arc is Batman helping Superman realize, yeah, I need to be a better Superman, Batman realizing, okay, this guy's not all bad, he's just still getting the hang of things, I've been there once, I can help. I get what he's going through, so yeah. I'm starting to trust this guy, but I'm not completely buddy with it, as Mr.E said. So that's for like another thing.
Neither am I.
Yeah. So that's his arc. So that's basically, let's see if I go through all the arcs here. Yeah, let's see.
That's Lois's arc.
Yeah, it's Batman. What's Lois's arc?
Yeah, character development. Come on, a lot of people were complaining about that.
Well, yeah, the thing with Lois is that she's being the investigative reporter. She's struggling with I have this guy who's so spectacular and he has this dual identity. I'm kind of playing with that. Hers, I guess, would be kind of she'd be the one consoling the hero through these tough times, as she did at the ending of Man of Steel with the whole Zod thing.
Do you think we should get a proper Fortress of Solitude in this?
I would. I have no idea what to go with that. Like, maybe he took the remnants of what was left with the ship and he rebuilt it, because he said he's hanging his cape somewhere, so I can't. Or that could just be him saying, like, I'm not telling you who I am. Like, my Clark Kent apartment or anything. So I can't say for certain what's the fortress. I would like to see the fortress, see what he meant by that. So, I mean, yeah, I'd like to see that. But again, it's Luthor, now he has kryptonite, and Batman takes a piece of kryptonite, kind of saying, just insurance in case anything happens again, or you do get out of line. Or if you ever need a reminder that, you need to reel it back a little. Something like that. Or, heck, if any Kryptonians get out of the Phantom Drive, I'm speculating that one. But still, you know what I mean, right? So that would be set up for Justice League. I still say I want the world's finest animated thing, and that's these two guys. At first they fight, yeah, but then again they team up at the end, and they go up against Luthor, saying, yeah, Luthor is a scumbag. We gotta we got to foil this guy, even though Luthor's going to get away with it. You know, just put him in his place. So Luthor's plans with John plans to make Superman look out to be the bad guy, and then try to kill him with Metallo. It's not going to work. They foil that plan, but still Luthor has this big power in the city. They can't do anything about it. Yada yada yada. That would lead to Justice League. So basically, that's pitch. If I were to start in Gotham, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. You know how I'd end this movie?
How would you end? How would you end this movie?
We see a familiar face running. We pan back, and then we see this running through the city.
Huh.
It's like that's just that's all you need to know is next we get the Flash.
You know, it'd be great, even better, if right after like Bruce gets on his plane and leaves. Right after that, then there's just this really quick whiz by. We don't even see it. We just see like papers moving and like this, like something's been through there. Maybe like if they can do this, like just literally like the slightest hint of Flash, but just Superman like turns his head, says, "What the?" Boom. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, just really good.
Flash
And by the way,
the Flash will probably be an origin story.
I am not opposed to all these movies. A Flash movie taking place concurrently with that would work for me because, well,
I'd like to see a Flash that's already established, but like there's
like
an open addressment of
I
origin.
think. Look, we haven't had a Flash movie, period, as far as I know.
We have.
I mean, we're getting Quicksilver before Flash.
We're getting Quicksilver before Flash. Yeah. I was just gonna say, why? I think we need his origin on film because hasn't. I don't think it hasn't happened since the series.
I'm saying let's address it kind of like it did in Man of Steel. Hint say what happened, but do it like in the flashbacks or something. Like address it somehow.
Yeah.
Address the origin somehow, but still give us a fully formed Flash and the villains. That's what I'm saying. That's
because I'm not too familiar with his rogues gallery, but I would like a teaser of some sort in this.
Yeah.
And I think that would be the easiest way to do it. And besides, who's to say that that's not something that happens in the movie?
Yeah.
Because hell, you could do Reverse Flash in this as well, and it's actually just they're just running through, and that's part of the film. And then in the part of the next film is that scene is them running through Metropolis.
But listen, another thing I had an idea of, if it was more of just a Superman-Batman film, the one that's not just a Man of Steel sequel. The only reason I hesitate, I'm saying let's show a way that'd be really cool in taking advantage of Zack Snyder's visual style. But I think it'd be great to see is if we start the film in Gotham, just so again, this is if it was less tied to a sequel. We start in Gotham. Okay, it's like, what the? We were just in like a Superman film, now we're in Gotham all of a sudden. This is different. Like, where are we? It's like Real 7 of Apocalypse Now. We don't know what's happening. So, Armageddon, sorry. So we just see a caper going on in Gotham, but would really be great with the Zack Snyder's visual style is if we saw the opening of Batman the Animated Series unfold in a way. Like an explosion happens and these guys are like being chased by Batman up a building, basically. Like the guy's trying to head out the door of the ground floor, like a battering gets thrown. We don't see Batman yet. It's like, what the? Up the stairs, even though it's a logical move, but they're so terrified. You go up the stairs and Batman's like beat him there. They would see like a cape starting to move, then he's beat him up there, and he's in silhouette at first. He's dealing with them, then the lightning reveals Batman, and it's like Gordon, he's looking at the newspaper, saying, how about that? After he has like a little meeting with Batman, it might hint at like these guys are working for like another organized, like maybe they're working for Riddler, working for Black Mask. Like that. But point is, it just starts like Gordon's like looking through a newspaper, and like right after he has this little meeting, Batman like throws the paper down in the car or something, and you see Superman's on the paper, talking about the events in Metropolis from Man of Steel. Then boom, there's your opening. Huh? Do we like that? At all?
Magpie, you can answer first.
Magpie.
I'm interested in it.
You like it?
I like it. I wouldn't mind it.
I'm saying
Just
it'd be
feel
cool.
like it's too tongue in cheek.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying that's an idea. The point is, like, an opening could be, it starts in Gotham, maybe Batman's just foiling any crime. Like, could be like some Black Mask and his goons, you know? See like a crime already in progress and Batman stop it. I'm just saying that to take advantage of the visual style. The point is, you could start just Batman in Gotham. We don't know what's, like, it's different than what we've seen so far. It's just kind of started like, okay, this isn't Metropolis. Using that surprise, just seeing him foil a crime. It could be like a Riddler's in the middle of a scheme and Batman stops him. Just seeing like him. I kind of use this for my Justice League pitch. You know, he just walks by saying, "You did this, and you did this. You know, this riddle to answer, this riddle to answer, this riddle to answer." Show how smart this guy is. Maybe knocks around some henchmen, just says, "You know, okay, you're done for." Just show how fully formed Batman is at this point. Or do it for Black Mask. He's stopping some thugs and saying, "You know, you're done, Black Mask." But also, if he was more Superman Batman.
Technically year 2 Batman.
Well, I'm saying more like the year 3 or 4 Batman. Maybe not year 2, but like year 3 at least. You know, just seeing like the Batman he's done this for a while. I'm saying I want fully formed Batman for this movie. You know, like Michael Keaton, like mystery about him. Like we don't know the origin or anything at this point. We just know he's fully formed and he's like ready for Justice League at this point. And if we could go the Batman films go into the origin, like maybe not exactly origin because we've seen that before, but just seeing what seeing how they're tackling Batman's history. Yeah, like just see like how this Gotham is, like how this new rebooted Batman is, and like his own film series. But still, just show fully formed Batman, just showing like the awesomeness of Batman, like what we know about the character and him interacting with these guys. But still, if it was more Superman Batman oriented, like show a few flashes of the Gotham, like we see Alfred in the Batcave, we see Batman in the Batcave before he goes to Metropolis. You see him like contacting Alfred, maybe a scene with Gordon before he goes, or like I don't know if they could go back and forth or not. Like that's what I'm saying. Like seed in a few Batman villains if it was going back and forth. You know what I mean, Mr.E?
Yeah.
Good.
Do we have any ideas for the costume? Should we talk about that? As far as the Batman one goes.
Arkham Asylum, New 52.
Do we want the oval?
I don't want the oval.
I don't need it, but it would be nice.
Yeah. The oval would be nice. I mean, we don't necessarily. Let me ask you this, guys. Now, the symbol that's been shown is kind of the official symbol. I guess the symbols could change, but still, just given the symbol we have, do you think it's going to be Frank Miller Batman symbol on the chest, or no?
I think they're going to probably modify it.
Yeah, just like ordinary
That was
Batman.
probably the symbol they just wanted to show you, just like to get you hyped up for the movie.
Yeah, that's probably... Yeah,
it's like
I'm
this.
just saying...
It's like this. They didn't want to use the Nolan symbol. Kind of like...
Yeah.
Sorry, I was...
People hopes up for like Christian Bale returning, so they used the different.
Yes. I'll say this. I would like to see the gray. I would like to see the gray body, the gray suit. You know, the classic gray bat suit in this.
Yeah, but I don't want it to look like material. I want it to.
Essentially Arkham City Batsuit, basically. You know, just basically the classic Batsuit, just a little more armored. Like, subtly armored, though.
See, as I said, the Arkham suit mixed with New 52.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I want the black shorts. I don't want them to be gone.
Fair enough. I want to quickly just do this. We're going to... With the Lone Ranger looking like it's not doing that well, and chances of a possibility doing not happening. Do we think Armie Hammer could be cast as Batman?
You know what? I just don't.
I don't want to see it, but anything is possible. like this.
Yeah.
It's not his fault for the Lone Ranger. It's the story's fault. It's the writing's fault, and it's probably the directing's fault, and the casting of Johnny Depp as Tonto.
Yeah.
So,
Thing is-
it's not. Yeah, it's not Armie Hammer's fault. And also, I just don't want Armie Hammer as Batman. He's got the voice for it, but he doesn't. I just don't see him as Batman.
All right.
I would like to. Here's the thing: I haven't seen the Lone Ranger. I just want to hear. I want some more reference on this guy before I can make a call if he can be Batman. Because I know his name's been tossed around, which kind of makes me think he's not going to be in it. But then again, Henry Cavill's been tossed around. He became Superman.
Who
He
do
was
we
in the
see?
Social Network. He
I don't
was
know.
in J. Edgar. He was in Mirror Mirror.
Who did he play in J. Edgar?
He
Oh, I think I know.
played J. Edgar Hoover's lover, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, here's the thing. I guess I'm always in the mindset that we should always get an unknown for the big hero. It's worked so far.
Well, he's.
I mean, get the for the majority
They made a
unknown.
Lone Ranger. It's like this. They made a Lone Ranger movie in the 80s. They got an unknown. That movie didn't work.
Well, I mean, think about it. All the big heroes. They're relatively unknown British guys so far. The big three have been British.
Christian Bale
so far.
was.
Yeah, Christian Bale's a little
Christian
British.
Bale wasn't unknown.
Well, I mean, he's
Well-
when you say you're just contesting if he's unknown or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
I'm
was in
saying,
American
like,
Psycho. Pretty popular.
I mean,
Bale
vaguely
wasn't-
unknown. Vaguely unknown.
Bale was not a big star beforehand. I don't need a totally unknown for it, but I would not. I wouldn't be opposed. I wouldn't be opposed to a name actor, but you'd have to be very careful where you tread
I'm saying
with
get
that.
an unknown or a relatively unknown. It's worked out so far. You know, it's the Richard Donner school of casting. It's worked out so far. I think Armie Hammer kind of falls into that. So again, I don't know. Just kind of go with that in mind for the casting. It should be fine.
Mm. And someone that can do
It's just
do
that
it.
For, like, of what I've seen, I think they've already begun screen testing for Batman and
Yeah.
all.
Okay.
And from what I've seen, like, I've only seen one person so far tossed around, like, for the screen test. And that guy was on a TV show. And he was on Teen Wolf and all. And when I saw that he was on Teen Wolf, I was just like, ugh.
Mm. I'm not overly terribly.
Let me ask you this, Magpie. How would you feel if Stephen Amell played Batman?
Will never happen.
That's not going to happen.
I don't know. I'm saying like Captain Logan's like brought it up once. I just thought I'd mention it.
It's not going to happen, but I'm not opposed to it because then you got to juggle schedules then.
True.
And it looks like it's whoever's going to be Batman is going to have to be in a. I'm guessing that this is not going to be. This is what I'm hoping, and this is what I think that. This is what I'm hoping their plans are. Is that, like I said earlier, this is not. This is a sequel to Man of Steel, but it's not necessarily Man of Steel 2. If you get my drift there.
I don't see how that's.
So what you're saying is, okay, we're going to get Man of Steel, Batman, and then we're going to get Man of Steel 3? Doesn't make sense, because then, okay, well, why do we need, it doesn't make sense to me. It should be a separate property from
It
the
should.
Man of Steel. Because it doesn't make sense. Otherwise, you might as well just have Batman walk in there, and do the
fight.
Samuel L. Jackson thing. Let me talk to you about the Justice League Initiative.
Well, the point is, they really are selling this on the fight. I mean, I think there's like some websites called Batman versus Superman. I'm just saying that's really, even what they say at Comic-Con, they're really selling the tickets to the fight. the question remains if they're going to team up, which I say it'd be a bad idea if they just fought for the film. In that
No, I don't. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that this should be a separate property within the same continuity. It's just, and I don't want to see I don't care if there's a fight. I just don't.
Yeah.
Want it to be a long, drawn-out battle because it'd be stupid.
You're right. It should be its own thing, but it's not. That's what DC does marketing-wise. It's a mistake. It should be its own film, but it's not. This is going to be the sequel to Man of Steel. That's what they're doing with it. Not saying it's a good move, but that's what's happening. The third one's just going to be called something else. It's not going to be called Man of Steel 3. It's going to be like,
If that's the point,
but
in my opinion, if Superman, Batman is going to be the sequel, then Justice League should be the third one.
Well,
because it's the only thing that would make sense then.
I don't know. I think I think it would make sense. Like, but I think even with that, they're still going to call it Justice League as its own film.
Look, it's probably still early days in the plan.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this is still early days in the planning process, and that this is just a step along the way to an eventual Justice League movie. Like, I'm not opposed to getting a bunch of small getting another Man of Steel out before we get another Man of Steel property out before a Justice League movie, and in the meantime getting a bunch of other movies up and running. Possibly a Flash movie, possibly I think Wonder Woman has to be a part of the Justice League, so hopefully she. I think she needs a movie.
They're not gonna make a Wonder Woman movie right off the bat is because they're trying to make a Wonder Woman television series. So I think that's why we're not getting a Wonder Woman movie. And I believe. This is me spitballing. Maybe the TV series is going to be a part of the universe.
I think it's stretching it, Mr. E. I mean, it'd be a first if it happened. It'd be a first if it happened.
I would rather see that be a part of
They're
Green
doing
Arrow
it right now with
continuity.
HBO.
Hear me out, fellas. DC, especially Warner Brothers. I mean, Warner Brothers and a little bit of DC. They're really. This is a real big thing for them. They're really scared. They're not taking chance. They're pushing these things forward so they can get made. Justice League's taking them so long because they want to get it right. But it's kind of with what happened with Green Lantern, they're scared. That's why they're kind of okay. Well, we know. Let's put Batman in the Man of Steel film. We're going to do Flash next, and then Justice League before people forget about us because of the Avengers. They're really taking chance. They're not taking chances like Marvel is. So that's the problem.
I wouldn't care if we didn't get a Justice League until after we even get a Avengers 3.
Well, they're afraid they're going to lose. They're afraid the Avengers is going to show them up completely because of that.
It doesn't matter.
I know it doesn't matter. Tell them that.
It doesn't matter to me. I don't care if if it takes forever for. As long as it's done right, I don't care when a Justice League movie comes out. If it's I don't need. And personally, I don't want to have to choose between an Avengers and Justice League movie.
Warner Bros. Is feeling very insecure with Marvel's success and kind of some of the other misgivings.
I get that, man. What I'm saying is, I'd rather it planned out, and I don't care if they copy the formula, but I feel that if you it could work to spin out characters, but out of a Justice League movie, as long as we don't get caught up with someone's origin in the meantime. Like, I don't think a Martian Manhunter movie would necessarily work. I think he should just stay part of the
Justice League.
I think he works better in Justice League anyway.
I would say that introduce him in Justice League, then give him his own spin-off film to explain where he came from in another film. Unless they just do the origin completely in Justice League, the film.
I don't want to see that.
You don't want to see the origin in the film?
No, I don't want anyone's origin in a film.
Well, you have to realize if
in a Justice League.
In the movie, then.
Magpie, I think we might have. Don't get me wrong, I'm with you. I would like to see them fully formed or fully established or aware of each other, and it's just be them meeting for the first time. That's just me. But I don't know. I think they're going to have to introduce Wonder Woman and they might work that in the story. Wonder Woman, we don't know verbatim if we are getting Manhunter.
I don't even think. Look, to be honest with you, I don't want to. I would put Martian Manhunter in a Man of Steel movie to explain it, kind of. But and I mean, that would be sacrificing a Man of Steel movie, but we had to have Black Widow in Iron Man 2.
I guess that'd be the equivalent. You can use Brainiac as the villain in that case.
Yeah.
But still, I think unless
like World Destroyer.
But yeah, my prediction is that they're going. They may give Wonder Woman work Wonder Woman's origin into the plot for the Justice League film.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's. I'm not saying I like it, but we might get that. It just looks like that's where DC's going with this insecurity. That they're gonna again put their eggs in the basket. So unless they do a smart thing and have them all fully formed, they're just meeting each other, then they're gonna work that into the plot, which still could be good, but it's not Wonder Woman their own film, which we can only hope is a spin-off after Justice League comes out. See?
Yeah.
So yeah, in a nutshell. Plus, I guess what they're kind of we might. There's a small chance we could get that fully formed league if they had the Wonder Woman TV show. That kind of says to people, okay, this is the character. You get the character, now you just have her. Now we know everything about. We know the basics about this character, so you can just get into it for the movie. Mm. But anyway, it's up in the air at this point.
My fear is that we need a woman in the team because. Who would you put in the team if they don't put Wonder Woman in there?
Listen, Magpie, it will be sacrilege if they don't have Wonder Woman in the Justice League film. It will be sacrilege. There'll be riots if Wonder Woman's not in the Justice League film.
Yeah, I'm disappointed.
They had a comic book called Justice League Year One, and Wonder Woman wasn't in it. It was Black Canary.
Get at it. Well, you sure it wasn't Justice Society?
No.
No. Well, I haven't read that, so you can.
Well, to me, if you have Black Canary, then you have to have Green Arrow.
Well, yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
And that's
only
a
way
problem.
for it to make.
But my thing is, okay.
It's like not having Captain America in the Avengers if Wonder Woman's not in there.
Yeah. But anyway, back to Superman, Batman. Well, let's just finish up here. Do we need? Do you guys have any other things you want to throw in? I guess if a Batman movie gets spun out of this, obviously we don't want another ninja hyper realistic Batman in this continuity. Do we want a more comic book Batman with this is what I want, a more comic book, more detective Batman and the ninja stuff is sort of in the background, kind of like what we're getting with Beware the Batman.
Yeah, I just want.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, basically detective comics, basically detective Batman with comics, but particularly just detective and animated series touches to it, with basically overall Arkham City. So basically all the best of Batman I want with Batman. Again, just have him fully formed, just kind of do the unique thing, kind of what Man of Steel did, and also kind of Incredible Hulk, just kind of flashback the origin, work it into the story while he's having these fights. Maybe it's a psychological. It's a psychological arc. It's just kind of like, I don't know. It's saying he's going up against Hugo Strange or something while he's having these flashes to his face. I don't know. Point is just to have a fully formed Batman explore it a little.
For the Batman universe, I kind of want fully formed villains. Like, let's say he's already went up against like Joker and Riddler and Mr. Freeze. I
don't want Joker until a third Batman movie.
Oh no, I'm not saying have Joker in it. I'm just saying like they've already been introduced. They already exist. They're in Arkham right now. No one's touching them and all. But just have them like, okay, they're here. They exist. Moving on. We don't need a Joker story.
That's the perfect way to do it. Just have them established, and you maybe go into working into the plot if you're kind of going into the past. Like Batman can always have like a bad dream about his parents' death, and that's in a nutshell. I'd say he traveled the world. You don't need to explain anything with Batman because he's Batman. And the villain, and to me, occasionally you could have an origin, just work it into a story. Explore the origin. You don't need it for everyone though. Then really you don't need Two-Face, but you could if you wanted to work into like an arc for a few films, maybe. But
I don't think you need. I think they did it well. I think I think you can set up Two-Face in one movie.
That's what I'm saying.
And then throw him into the next a fully formed Two-Face villain in the next one.
Exactly.
But I think they've already done that, so I don't need to see Two-Face again. I would want to see. I know Riddler seems to be the popular choice, but if not him, no, yeah, but it would have to be. It wouldn't be a Danny DeVito. It'd be more
Mad Hatter?
like Mad Hatter would work.
Yeah.
He's a villain that no one's ever seen, so it'd be new.
He's actually taken the limelight recently with that whole Greg Hurwitz Dark Knight story. He's been trying to show as a menace, as a credible threat.
Yeah.
Man, there's always.
And I want a darker. Origin. Yeah, I wouldn't mind exploring his origin a bit because I like the one they did in. I like the one they did in the animated series, and that's. But I wouldn't mind someone's trying to do a new.
Yeah, like Mob Boss Club.
I've seen a villain or a version of his origin, kind of like where he's sort of like, I know you might not like this, but like where he's a pedophile and he's constantly getting like little girls who are blonde.
You mean the Mad Hatter?
Yeah, this is the Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're getting off top.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, we could have a film in which he like in the first 5 minutes of like an opening, he takes care of Zaz. He's in the midst of taking care of Zaz, and then we get on with the plot for a Batman film. Have fully formed villains. In a nutshell, could work. But last thing on the matter for me, I would say that. I kind of say this for Justice League. Just show those villains like in Arkham, though. Like they're in their cells. Like just show that we have different versions of these characters. So in case you're curious, no, it's not Heath Ledger Joker. No, it's not Dark Knight Joker. It's a different version. Like just have that shot where it's like reeling in a new villain into Arkham, but you see the other versions. They're just not being part of the story at this point.
Yeah, and they. But the problem is then, man, you gotta cast them.
Yeah. Well, maybe some of them be in shadow, like just show you like Joker. I don't know. No.
Yeah, then that becomes a problem too.
That's what that's my I think could be a good.
Look, yeah, man, I know what you're trying to say. That works better in animation, because then that way you don't have to have voice. All you have to do then is cast a voice, and if it doesn't really work, then guess what? You recast the voice. It's less of a problem then. And like I said, I don't want a Joker until a third Batman movie, but. Anyway, I think we pretty much explored this, and we're pretty much done. I think we're pretty much done here, unless you. I think we're all cautiously optimistic for this project, but
I'm just nervous about the writing, just because like Zack Snyder's gonna help out write it. One of his really bad movies, Sucker Punch. David S. Goyer is writing it. One of his really bad movies that he wrote, Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance.
Blade 3.
So
Blade 3, yeah, that's really bad.
But he's written a lot of good movies. Dark Knight.
Yeah, but he had help with that with Nolan.
Well, Nolan. To me, I hear Nolan might be helping out with this one.
No, he's producing this
one. Well, he tried helping. He tried helping out with Man of Steel, and he was going to take the worst part of that movie out.
Yeah, I've heard conflicting things about. Well, I mean, Nolan for a sequel. I've heard some people say, okay, yeah, Nolan's going to help out with this, but really, what I heard from Comic-Con is it's Snyder and Goyer working on the writing, so Snyder to be helping out, which kind of leaves it up in the air. But, gentlemen, if I may, overall, we're positive on just the fact that we're seeing these two on screen. We have no idea how it's going to be made. We have our ideas, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's great to see these two guys on screen. It's just jazzing up to see DC slowly coming into their own, whether it be misguided some aspects, but in the end, they're starting to take risk. Hopefully, those risks start to escalate, which will end up in awesomeness. Hopefully, maybe one year they can dwarf Marvel. Maybe, make it a 2008 year again.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm 100%. I'm gonna go see the movie, I'm just not sure if it's bad. I'm not going to see it multiple times. I only saw I've only seen Man of Steel once, and I'm not sure if it's going to end up being a part of my DVD collection.
Oh, it's
to be
gotta
honest.
be.
It's like this. The only thing these Warner Brothers is gonna upstage Marvel is if they somehow released another movie similar to The Dark Knight. That movie was kind of at stage Marvel, but then once Marvel let out the Avengers, that's when Marvel upstaged Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers has got to make another Dark Knight movie if they want to try to be a heavy hitter.
I don't think I don't want to need that carbon copy of that, man. I want them to take some idea.
That's good and like up to par with how awesome The Dark Knight was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want DC to be in the forefront. You know, match their animation in the live action things, like since Dark Knight came out, you know? Since Rises came out. Both, you know, just overall, I just want the positive of DC to kind of shine through, because it is this film with this film and with Justice League, we're gonna get in the theaters. People's grandfather's gonna go see this because they know it's classic. It's Batman, Superman, and by extension, then Justice League, which were around longer than Marvel. Not that I'm knocking Marvel. I like Marvel. You know, it's good. It's just I'm so happy that we're starting to get some progress on this. Again, it'd be nice. Ideally, it'd be nice if they took their time with it. But you know, what can you do? I'm just happy with what we're getting. In a nutshell, let's focus on the positive. I'm happy about this.
Yeah. Okay.
It was big news, and it's going to still be big news for the days to come. The year to come, it's going to be keep building and building until hopefully that building pays off.
Once the movie's out and done with, everyone's going to be like, "Oh, that's old news."
Yeah. Let's move on to the next bigger thing. We're going to see this brave. This is going to be the brave and the bold. We want DC to become the brave and the bold company again. You know.
So, all we can talk about for the movie. So.
Yeah. Okay.
This has been a first installment of the Confidential Fan Guild.
Yes.
Yay!
And for now, we're going to disassemble, but we're going to reassemble because another announcement was made at Comic-Con about an age that's coming. The age of Ultron. So, yeah, so we will reassemble
to combat that threat. That big piece of news right there. We're going to combat it.
Yeah, and it'll probably be the same sort of thing, but obviously we won't be casting, and we won't be, and we'll be speculating on other things that will be coming out. Then. But after that, I should let you guys know that I would like each of you to prepare a topic, and we will then rotate our geeky gentlemen to talk about certain things while we can be prepared, obviously, so we can be prepared for them and everything. And then this will hopefully be either a weekly thing, a bi-monthly thing, or at the very least a monthly thing, and we can just rotate then. And so I'm not sure what the topic after that will be, but I will get to pick that topic because it will hopefully be my birthday by then, so that'll be my little present to me for this thing. But if you guys can get
birthday to me.
Yeah, but also guys,
you're the leader of the group, so you get to do whatever you want.
Yeah, but it's just we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna rotate then, and after me it will be Mr.E and then Bluedragon 5, because Bluedragon 5 got a whole month dedicated to him, so he's sort of get
sometimes 31 days just isn't enough.
Yeah, but yeah, we're gonna reassemble for that. We got I've got my live show coming up, so everyone stay tuned for that. Plus, I've been checking my video count. I've got a 400 video coming up, so I'll probably be doing something special for that. But please, people, leave some questions on that Q&A video, that announcement that I put out. I'm really hoping we can get some more for that, and hopefully it will not be just a basic Q&A again. Hopefully I can get someone on board to come on live with me for that as well. But we will be back here for the confidential fan guild. We will reassemble so we can tackle the Age of Ultron.
And remember.
Yes.
I'm Bluedragon 5. Mr.E, that's you. Go on.
That's you. That's your cue.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. What is an 11-letter word that is pronounced incorrectly? You have the answer? Post it in the comments below, because I'm Mr.E.
And I am the Magpie.
Join us as we reassemble next time.
Next time. Next time, Gadget. Next time.